What happens when a storm brews in the NFL, shaking the very foundations of player contracts? Can a rising star feel disrespected despite a hefty paycheck? Buckle up, Bears fans, because the whispers from Hollis Hall just got louder. And today's narrative is a nail-biter. Hit that like button, subscribe for every electrifying development, and let's dive in. Are you ready for Jalen Johnson to step into the spotlight and seize his moment? In the shadows of negotiation tables, eye-popping contracts, and jaw-dropping comparisons, rumors are swirling around our favorite defensive dynamo, Jalen Johnson. Insiders are hinting that something is off, something that could shift the balance of power not just for Johnson, but for the entire Bears roster. The rankings just dropped, and the mood? Let's just say, it's far from blissful. Johnson, a captain and leader who carved out a reputation with 2 Pro Bowl appearances and an All-Pro accolade, now finds himself ranked 8th amongst NFL cornerbacks, a mere afterthought on a list that should pay homage to his talents. But trust me when I say Eagles are crying foul over a perceived lack of respect, and this isn't about to sit well with him. It's as if he's standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the turmoil below, and he's ready to leap for answers. News just broke Sauce Gardner, another rising star in the cornerback galaxy, finally inked a deal that screams respect. $120.4 million over 4 years. That's $30 million a year, and guess what? Gardner isn't just some average player. The stats speak volumes, and they mirror Johnson's in several ways. Suddenly, there's a storm cloud over Johnson's own $19 million a year deal, and the front office knows it. You can bet Ryan Poles is sweating bullets, because while Gardner's making headlines, Jalen must be feeling the weight of every dollar like a lead anchor dragging him down. You know how we are around here. A little old Chicago loyalty runs deep, but also pride runs deep. We remember the crushing disappointment of watching legends like Peyton and Urlacher give it their all, only to see the organization falter when it counted. This moment resonates with the echoes of Soldier Field, reminding us of how much we've endured as Bears fans. We're bold, we're demanding, and damn it, we want to see our stars rewarded for their hard work. Imagine this. What if Johnson harbors that fire ignited by Gardner's record deal and decides he needs to push for a renegotiation? What if this sparks a feud in-house that disrupts the delicate chemistry this team has built? That could ignite a conflagration of speculation, could. One of our cornerstones feel the urge to demand the respect he believes he deserves, only to risk a fracture within the locker room. Talk about a slippery slope. And what if this alters how the Bears approach free agency in the coming years? Every single penny, every contract signed, it all matters. We've seen how failure to lock down position players can lead to disastrous seasons, and the ghosts of a lost decade loom large as we contemplate the worst-case scenarios. The excitement builds, and yet trepidation looms like a dark cloud over our heads. As Johnson stokes the flames of fairness in his contract talks with Poles, the tension skyrockets. Does he trust the organization to do right by him, or is it all just an empty promise laced with uncertainty? What if his frustration erupts into something more significant? The stakes have never been higher. Will he take a stand or take a seat? Will the Bears negotiate, or will they end up in a standoff, staring each other down in a battle of wills? The future could look bright or dim. In true Chicago fashion, we expect nothing less than greatness, but what lies ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. Buckle in, Bears fans, because as we peel back the layers of these pressing questions, one thing is clear. This narrative is just beginning. What happens next could tip the scales for Jalen, for this defense, and for the entire franchise. You won't want to miss where this story goes. Part 2 is just around the corner. Listen up, Bears Nation. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill Sunday ritual. This is the crucible of our very existence. If you felt that electric thrill in 2010 when we were 2 inches away from the Super Bowl, or if the bitter taste of that double doink in 2018 still lingers on your tongue, then you know what's at stake here. It's the heart, the soul, The very essence of who we are as fans that's being tested again. As we watch our team search for an identity on the field and in the locker room, every whisper inside Halas Hall becomes amplified by our fears and hopes. What we witnessed this season was not just an ensemble cast lost in the fog of confusion. It was a battleground of dreams where individual egos and team unity threatened to detonate like fireworks over Lake Michigan. Now, imagine if these guys rally around each other, if Justin Fields can turn those late-game mistakes into confident drives, if the locker room becomes a sanctuary instead of a war zone. This isn't just speculation, folks. This is how legends are forged, how the past pushes us. Our rivals, the Packers, are wiping that smug smile off their faces. The Lions are hungry for a feast, and the Vikings smell blood in the water. They're circling like wolves waiting for us to falter because they know we're still finding our footing. But what if we defy every doubter, every critic that has painted us as perennial underachievers? Up in those cold stands, we've felt the frostbite of that fateful '85 season so many times. And sometimes you almost hear the ghost of Singletary shouting from the sidelines, reminding every player that history doesn't just stand tall in the past. It seeps into our bones and drives us. Remember our glorious 2006 season, Hearts, beating wildly in the stadium, only to get hit by the cruel reality of a 2010 NFC Championship heartbreak. Those scars don't heal, they mold the fabric of our fandom. They root us. They dig deep like the ice in January when winds howl around Soldier Field, rattling your bones and your resolve. Now contrast those memories with what we see today. A team grappling with its own identity, perhaps suffering from an existential crisis where decisions made today can echo tomorrow. But are we watching the first sparks of redemption, or has the descent into chaos already begun? You could almost smell the incense of desperation in the air. The tension could light a match. You could feel the doubt creeping in like lake wind. Off Soldier Field in December, chilling your spine, making you question everything you thought you knew about this franchise. And yet, despite all that despair and uncertainty, there's this crazy seed of hope we can't seem to shake, a wild, fiery desire bubbling beneath the surface. What if this is the moment we rise from the ashes? What if, against all odds, ghosts of Hester and Ehrlicher rally us back to glory? Our aspirations in this cruel classic city echo through the alleyways of our hearts, tales of grit and determination that send shockwaves through every bar and sidewalk, every fan and backyard. BBQ across the city. For every Joe who lost his voice in 2010, for every Lisa shaking her head as we watch that gut-wrenching double doink, we need to ask ourselves now, are we willing to dive into the chaos, to brave the uncertainty, and stake our pride on this potentially painful yet inspiring journey? Or will we sit idly by and let another season pass us by, shrouded in shadows? Bears fans here, I ask you, are you ready to breathe fire once more, to chant from the depths of your heart, and will you still believe in the chaos? Because, my friends, the biggest question still looms over us like a dark cloud ready to burst. Can this team truly become the Giants we've always envisioned in our dreams? Or are we standing at the edge of another tragic chapter? Let's rise. If we're going to burn, let's burn bright and take every last ounce of this tension and turn it into our anthem for battle.